They say if we'll only avoid any confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways and learn to love it.
Hi, and welcome to the Too Much Coffee podcast, where we talk about hip-hop, news, and of course everyone's favorite politics. I'm Arthur Fantastic, and today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. We're going to start here with Jon Jones. Jon Jones is the light heavyweight champion of the UFC. Great fighter. When he first started fighting, I was a big fan. But now I don't like him, so fuck Jon Jones. Jon Jones is an asshole. Of all the places where we as, a society or a man or whatever the fuck you want to say, are looking for, like, honor, we want to see it in the ring. You know what I mean? When people fight, you know what I'm saying? I understand there's, like, all this talk beforehand, talking shit, this, that, the other thing, and you're trying to get that fight hype and everything like that, and maybe get inside the other fighter's head. But when it comes to an actual fight, we want to see some kind of respect, you know what I mean, for the other fighter. You know what I mean? No matter what happens, you guys, the safety of one another in the end is each other's responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna fucking, gouge out people's eyes and, stick out the, cut out their throat or, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So when we see people like Jon Jones coming into the ring, and he talks some mad shit, that's fine, whatever. You know what I mean? Everybody talks shit. I don't like it or whatever. I like when certain people talk shit and it's like charismatic. But the way he talks shit, it's very just, I don't even know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? It's the way that he does it is fuck Jon Jones. But beyond that, when he gets in the ring, when you're doing knee, like kick stomps to the knee, that shit is disrespectful. I've been doing martial arts for a long time, and that was one of the few things that I learned very early on. One of the first things I learned very early on, for self-defense. I was told that you don't do that unless you're in a real fight. That's like disrespectful. That ends careers. You can ask multiple previous people that have fought Jon Jones who have had to have surgeries because of that very kick. Fucking up your leg, fucking up your knee is a possible career-ending injury. Okay, you fucking need your knees. And when you kick a person right in the knee, at the joint, with intention to break that knee, that is fucking disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? In every other case, when you're fighting, you're trying to knock a person out, this, that, the other thing, but you're not trying to break their face. You're trying to knock them out. When you put them into a submission, you're trying to have them tap. You're not trying to break their arm unless they don't tap. You know what I'm saying? And usually what will happen is the ref will stop it. That's why we don't like people like Palhares, I think his name was. I fucking hate that guy too. I think his name is Toquinho, right? Husemar Toquinho Palmares, right? Whatever. He held like a whole bunch of submissions way past the tapping point against Jake Shields and a whole slew of people. It's very super disrespectful. So when a person comes in there and is throwing these knee kicks, it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? I fucking hate that. Furthermore, why I dislike Jon Jones. Jon Jones is a super talented fighter. No one can take that away from people. People are calling me a hater because I say, hey, I don't like Jon Jones because of this, the other thing. I'm a martial artist. You know what I mean? These people are fighters and they're also martial artists. But as a martial artist, we are not seeing Jon Jones progress. He's still super fucking conceited and unapologetic. You know what I mean? And there's a difference between unapologetic, because you're doing the things the way that you want to do, and completely fucking up your career and other people's career and having no kind of empathy. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get to that subject of empathy and shit later on back in the show. But I just want to finish this point here. For about 2 years, Jon Jones, former champion, now champion again, was out. Why? Because he's fucking up his own career. It is no one else but his own fault. 2 years, that's like 6 fights at least, where we will never get back, he will never get back. That's money that he is missing, and somebody needs to fucking call this shit out, because this is not okay. All right? They remove him from the roster for like 6 months for getting hit in a hit and run accident with a pregnant lady. Let's not take away from the facts here. That shit is real. Okay? Hit a fucking pregnant lady's car. She's in it, and he fucking just dips. Gets caught with cocaine. Gets test positives for PEDs. You know what I'm saying? And he keeps fucking up. All right? I don't know about you guys. We've all done some type of drugs. I fucking do drugs from time to time. But I've never been tested positive in anything I've ever done. You know what I'm saying? How about you fucking get your shit together, Jon Jones? You're a fucking professional. You lost all these endorsements and sponsorships because of your own fucking problem. And he's just the type of person to just blame other people. You know what I mean? He just shrugs at it. Like, you are fucking your life up. And it is no one else's fault, and you're making the sport look bad. You're making, you're making tons of money. Just get your shit together, man. That's all I want. You know what I mean? From the first time I saw him fight, and to now, like, he fought, what's his name? American Psycho, I forget his name. Who I like too. You know what I'm saying? I liked his style, but it's just like he was just overwhelming. He's just he's a great wrestler. He's a good fighter. He's athletic. He's talented. He has good like stylistically good, like he'd be doing good look shit. You know what I'm saying? Good looks. He has some good looks, I guess. I'm not saying he's handsome, but like rather he's got some like elbows and spinning elbows and just overall striking and wrestling moves that are just really, you don't see it often and as effective as he uses it. He's explosive. He's a fucking great athlete, but he really just wrecked his own career. And somebody needs to hold him accountable. As fans, somebody needs to hold him accountable, and he needs to fucking be humbled. He's just not humble. You know what I mean? There is a level of humbleness if you look at some of the more conceited fighters' career, like Conor McGregor, you know what I'm saying? If you just see how he is outside of the ring when he's just talking, he's not super conceited, but when he's doing all this press stuff, he's conceited. Same thing with, I don't know, you see it with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Oscar De La Hoya, there's a humbleness to him, same thing, but like, when you get run over like this and it's by somebody like that, you know what I mean? I fucking hate it. And for those who saw that fight, I had Daniel Cormier winning second and Jon Jones maybe winning the first. It was pretty close. That first one I could have gave to Daniel Cormier. Second one definitely second round definitely gave it to Cormier. And then the third round was Jon Jones, and that's where it ended. I'm not impressed. I'm not I don't know how we are all calling like Daniel Cormier this like super super great fighter. I haven't seen him fight like a super he fought Dan Henderson, who fights at middleweight, you know what I mean, and he threw him around a Dan Henderson who was definitely smaller. We are seeing a lot of fucking things from Daniel Cormier. He's a great, you know what I mean? He's got a lot of power. He's fucking stocky and all that shit. I'm not impressed, and people are using that as like, oh man, Jon Jones is the fucking best. Not fucking impressed. Done talking about Jon Jones. Fuck Jon Jones. All right? Fuck Jon Jones. I hope that if he fights Brock Lesnar, I hope he loses. I don't like Brock Lesnar either, but he's progressed as a martial artist. I don't fucking like Brock Lesnar, but at least he's progressed as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? At least I can give him some respect. But I don't like Jon Jones. He's fucking trying to fight Brock Lesnar. He's trying to be fucking Conor McGregor is what it looks like to me. He's just trying to be Conor McGregor. He's not trying to be Jon Jones. He's got Alex Gustafsson. I don't know how to say his name. You got that guy. He's totally next in line for this fight. And this motherfucker is trying to call out Brock Lesnar, who can't fight till like after October or after November or some shit. So how about you fucking focus on what's in front of you? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to see this bullshit. Anyway. So next topic, I just want to touch on a little bit on what I was talking about last week with like women and relationships and everything like that. I had a lot of feedback from that, and I appreciate everybody talking to me. I know that I didn't get really any comments, and I wish people would just comment it on the video instead of just taking it to person or messages. But that's fine. That's cool. when I say the things I'm saying in terms of what is and what isn't, I'm not saying that is like I'm 100% sure that I make sure to have a disclaimer essentially in my speech, saying like this is how it is, not that I want it to be like that or whatever. But the fact of the matter remains of the way that things are. You know what I'm saying? First thing I want to address is a lot of people. Let me get a little bit of this coffee. A lot of people will say I'm a hater, or what is it your business? Why are you hating, etc., etc. I fucking hate that argument. Like, we can't be critical of other people. Like, it doesn't affect me when it is accepted on a grander level in society that being a hoe or being promiscuous as a man or a woman is okay. Then us traditionalists are at a disadvantage, okay? And more so women than men. You know what I'm saying? A man can go to another country or find a woman who has traditional values, and that shit will work out. For a woman who is swept away by this idea that they can just do whatever the fuck they want and expect to then later on have a traditional relationship in a world that's been evolving to where it has been for millennia, then you're naive and a you know what I'm saying? Like, it is not my fucking fault, all right? And in a way, it's not your fault, but us as a society are rather allowing this shit to fly. This shit shouldn't be fly. We shouldn't be saying, oh, side bitches is okay, oh, that's all right, you can totally do that, to each their own. Fuck to each their own. So because when people are doing this shit and it becomes prevalent, then we're all fucking losing, all right? Women that are just willing to give it away are totally taking away from the value of women who are willing to be withholding their sexuality, not withholding their sexuality, but to be chaste. That's the better word. To be chaste, I guess, rather. I'm not sure what I'm having trouble pronouncing things today. Let me get some coffee in me. Here in the Too Much Coffee podcast, recording on Thursday, releasing it on Fridays. Hit me up on social media at Arthur Fantastic on any social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Golden Ruffian if you're listening to us on YouTube. GOLDENRUFFIAN. So back to what I was saying. So when women are willing to be giving it up all the time, there's problems. And when men are willing to just fuck anyone all the time, there's also problems. Why? And I'll go through at least 3 right now. So when people are fucking all the time, all right, there's obviously a problem with the passage of STDs or STIs or whatever the fuck you want to. These are fucking problems, all right, that plague even first world countries. And you can go to specific places in the U.S. and in the world, in fact, for that matter, but specific places in America where the infection rate of STDs is higher than others, and it's never a traditional place. Let's look at the facts. Let's not be emotional, all right? A lot of the times where I get into a debate with women, it becomes very emotional, okay? And when I try to make a logical argument and talk about the reality of the situation, not how the ideal of the situation, but the reality of the situation, I always get like people trying to raise their voice over me and talk over me, and that's not me. I'm not fucking here to fucking put up with that shit, all right? And I hate having to do it with people that I like. Oh, you know what I mean? But I'm not willing to fucking, walk away and step down. You know what I mean? But calm your fucking self so we can have a conversation. So obviously, first off, STDs is a fucking problem. And then second off, when you have women just sleeping with any man, like this is an okay thing, then you have women that are willing to be chaste, like at a disadvantage, because men and women are animals, and society is the thin veneer that separates us from the animals. Okay, everybody's always talking about, oh, this is a social construct, this is that, the other thing. Yeah, it's a social construct. What the fuck is wrong with that? We've been making this shit for thousands and thousands of years so it can be a fucking working any kind of way that it is now, and we want to fucking say that a family is a social construct, that a traditional mother, father, children is a fucking problem. Are you fucking stupid? I was watching a video the other day about The Incredibles and how it was really good for feminists in some ways because obviously Elastigirl was, really awesome character. She's powerful. Doesn't take Miss Incredible. She's still Elastigirl and all this stuff, you know what I mean? But it was problematic because it had a traditional my God, it had a traditional representation of the nuclear family unit. I'm going to smack people in the face. What is wrong with people? What's wrong? What's wrong with having a fucking traditional family? That's why we are here as a society, is because we've decided to have shit like traditional families. I'm going to have some little bit of this coffee right here. So that is, we are degrading as a civilization. We're degrading as a society. We're not fucking improving when people are talking about social constructs. I mean, I understand there's certain social constructs that aren't good, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when you deny the reality of the situation of where things are and why things are going downward as opposed to upward, it's obvious to me and for many people that things like, the tremendous amount of single motherhood and obviously that's a big issue, but single motherhood is a big problem, promiscuity is a big problem, and it just pervades itself. People are fucking talking about cheating, like that's okay. And let me just say, as a note, if you're willing to be cheating or have a cheat, it's probably indicative of a lower IQ. A lower IQ person is more likely to cheat on their partner than a person with higher IQ. Crazy, but it's a fucking fact. All right, and I'm saying that not always does a person cheat on a person because they are low IQ. It's because whatever, but it can be. And so the last thing I want to say is we are too willing to be animals. We're too willing to, like, we know guys are dogs and we know women are women. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're emotional creatures. They're female, males are males, okay? And they're just as much as an animal as a man. I'll call them a bitch, whatever the fuck. They're both are dogs, right? But when we are willing to, like, when I was younger, women were always saying, oh, men are such dogs, etc., etc. And I still hear it from people all the time, mostly from people that are minorities that are more apt or more predisposed to being or having a more traditional outlook on relationships like that. They're still complaining. And why are we as a society then upholding people that like shit like fucking, that are fucking dogs, that are fucking fuckboys? We like their music, we like their shows, we like their stories. Why the fuck are you doing it? Grow the fuck up. As we all have a person that is older that has given us really good advice that we've completely ignored. How many times are we going to ignore it until we accept the truth? We've all fucked up, and there is shit like love and emotion, and it's a complex issue, and we can have a long podcast about that. But I don't want to talk about that too much. But when we're talking about love is a fucking choice. All right, attraction, sexually, emotionally, all that stuff. That's one thing that nature does when you are attracted sexually. Nature does that shit automatically. Boom. Okay, so nature has already in itself, whittled down the people that you will most probably be with by making them sexually attractive to you, whether it's by smell or their look, whatever. Okay, Then there's mental attraction, which is having to do with your mental and IQ level with one another, how you can talk and communicate, your ability to see each other's point of view and have empathy, your, you know, and then there's physical, like the body, and like the first one having to do with sexual attraction, but also physical, like money, okay, power, shit like that. There's a hierarchy, all right. There's a competition going on all the time among men, all right, and then women sort of have the choice to pick whoever the fuck they want. In the new Western world, people. Okay, I just wanted to go on a tangent here. I was having an argument the other day with a woman that was saying, like, I don't want to be a citizen of this country, and I don't like this country and shit like that. Listen, you live in a country that's fucking amazing. America is, everybody's coming here not because, you know, the American dream, but because fucking America is pretty fucking dope. And when you're living in this country and you fucking hate it, and you don't want to fix anything about it, and you don't want to acknowledge, you know, it's just, oh, you know, Trump, it's all Trump's fault. It's not. It has been and always will be the fault of the government, all right, and bureaucracy. And they're like, oh, well, it's actually Trump's fault. It's not Trump's fault, all right? He hasn't changed shit. This is the same thing that has been happening under Obama and everybody before him, and under Bush, and then Clinton before that, and before that, and before that. Stop fucking blaming one person. It is an entire government that is at issue. And if you cannot see that, then you're part of the fucking problem. Grow the fuck up. That is not the issue. The America is where things like rape is illegal, and you can say where the fuck you want, and then if you don't get paid as much as your the opposite sex is, you don't get paid as much, then you are not going to be. That's against the law. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has equal rights. We have a law system, and we have the most wealth in the entire planet. We have the most freedom. You know what I'm saying? And people want to say, oh, well, what about this, that, the other thing? If you fucking look at it, places like Finland, you go to fucking buy a car, it is 110% tax. Not even a fucking lie. If you were buying a $20,000 car, it is $40,000 plus more. All right, we live in America. All right, and there's things that I don't like. I'm not fucking like gung ho, like, oh, everything about America is great. I'm a fucking patriot. There's plenty of dissenting views I have from, you know, either side of the spectrum. But let's first agree that we need to unite as a people in America. Because every time I fucking go out or have a conversation, it's something about like how women have it harder than men, or men have it harder than women, or blacks have it harder than whites, or whites are having a harder time now, or left versus right and up versus down. Shut the fuck up. We will got nothing done, all right? We will all have struggles, and the more we ask the government to fucking get into our lives, the more we'll have shit like Philando Castile and fucking Eric Gardner, and those are real problems. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that what happened with Philando Castile was super fucking racist. It looked like just a bad situation that wouldn't happen if fucking the government wasn't in our lives all the time. And you think it's the police fault? No, they're the policy enforcers. Who's making the fucking policies? It isn't us. It's the fucking upper heads. And you know why they make them? Because we're fucking screaming for help when we should just be fucking helping ourselves. All right, I went on a tangent there. You know, and in fact, the person that I was talking about, I love. So, you know what I mean? I just need to get that off my chest, because I'm fucking tired of people in America saying that they don't like America. You know, like, then why are you here? Then why are you here? If there's something better, it's easy. Like, all these other countries, like, if they're so great, why don't they just fucking take you? And for the most part, they will. But in America, you're fucking happy, and people want to come up with these bullshit excuses of why shit is the way they are. If we all just sat down, we'd probably mostly be agreeing with most of the things with each other, with very few disagreements, and then we can come to the conclusion like what the problem is, because it isn't fucking institutional racism or this, that, the other thing. It's that we are enforcing policies like the drug war, you know what I mean? And it obviously is affecting black people at a disproportional rate, and that's why there's a disproportional rate of population of black people in jail, and why we have such a high amount of people in jail, more per capita than other countries, they say. But that does not, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean that it's a racist system. It means that you go to the hood and most people are fucking with some shit, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I smoke, and you know people smoke, but you can't fucking say that it's the police's fault. It's that we have allowed the politicians to enforce these policies for way too fucking long. You know what I mean? And why aren't we doing anything about that? We're not. We really aren't. We really are not doing shit about it. Backtracking all the way to what I was saying about relationships. There is a fundamental difference between men and women, okay? And I will say that men don't just go out there and fuck women. They have to do something. They have to have value, whether it's like power or a good job or money or confidence. But you don't just get to fuck women because you're a man. You have to compete with other men for women. Period. Like you may, like, even on a subconscious subtle level, like, people won't want to acknowledge this shit, but who do you fucking notice when you're out in public? Like, men who are timid and whatever and this, that, the other thing, or men who are confident, maybe cocky, maybe assholes. You know what I'm saying? And who do you want to be with? A guy who can't take care of himself, or a guy that fucking has money and power? That's the reality of the situation. Okay? And the reality of the situation is that women have all the power in terms of, like, choosing a partner. Like, a man wants more power. He's always trying to get more money, more established himself so that he can choose. And in some ways wants to fuck more women. Sure. But as a society, we should not be saying that shit's okay. You know what I mean? Like, you're a fucking dog. Is being an animal okay? So why is it then that things have progressed, instead of getting better with men, that things have gotten worse with women? Like, now everybody's just a fucking hoe. Like, I don't fucking like hoes, whether they're a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking like, oh yeah, you slept with man and women? Oh man, right on. No, dude, that shit's like, dude, I don't want to sip your drink, man. Like, are you fucking sick? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who you've been with. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody's always talking about germaphobes, but they'll fucking stick any fucking old fucking dick in their mouth or pussy or whatever, and, you know, or stick their dick in whatever. Dude, like, let's have some fucking values, and let's be critical of other people, because that shit is fucking up society. Done with the rant. You know, I don't know what else to go on that. I mean, I've been ranting about it for a while. There's a whole bunch more to say, and I'll maybe on a later episode have like a episode just dedicated to the dynamic between men and women and relationships. And I just want to end on this note. I think that shit like love is is like a value, like is a variable that you cannot measure. Love can do anything. I'm not saying that women who are hoes, who don't want to be hoes anymore, are fucking cursed to be hoes for the rest of their life, okay? People can make changes and do whatever, you know what I mean? And people can fall in love, you know what I'm saying? And people can forgive, and, you know what I mean? You can even be cheated on and forgive a person, you know what I mean? And, I have my own views on that, but, love is love. And the reality of the situation is that there's a lot of complex variables and issues that have to do with relationships. But if we're looking at it from this, like, subjective morals, you know what I'm saying? Like moral subjectivism, like, you know what I mean? Or relativism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Then there's no fucking way that we can say what is good and what is bad, because everything is just even, which is bullshit. It's not. Okay? As a man, I have to compete. As a woman, you just have to be fucking good looking and have a pussy. Period. You know what I mean? Even transgender bitches be winning. You know what I'm saying? And, hoes be winning right now, because hoes are less prude. They're more willing to have fun. There's no pressure, etc., etc. They know themselves. You know what I mean? And it's easy to be with a hoe. You know what I mean? Because hoes are fun, dude. Like, hoes are winning right now. Look at fucking Amber Rose. Look at Black China. They fucking rich, dog. They have fucking mansions. And girls who are not winning. And now we're twisting this fucking society where we're fucking we are shaming people for not being this quote unquote sex positive shit. You know what I mean? There's sex positive and there's being a fucking hoe. All right. There's like you can like sex and not be a hoe. You can be with one person, have sex with them all the time. You don't have to necessarily like be a hoe just for liking sex. But anyway, I want to end it on like the note that like love is like really important, and that we as a society don't like relationships. We don't fucking like want commitment anymore. We don't want love. And we uphold as a society artists that feel the same way and are talking about fucking hoes and talking about doing drugs and just and that's all they do, just pop pills and fucking fuck women and this that the other thing. Like how like they aren't living real life, all right? Like let's be real about it. Like we as normal people got to work a fucking job, and then you have a relationship, and then you have all this other shit that you got to take care of, and then you want to be fucking cheating and doing all this other thing. Like what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like stop wasting it. You know what I mean? Like let's not, like, sex is not the end all beat all of life. Sex is fucking great. It's beautiful. It's intimate. But when you're using like sex as a way to like validate yourself and give yourself value and all this other thing, then as a woman, for instance, you are that bullshit that you don't like, being a sex object, okay? And as a man, you're just fucking putting pussy on a pedestal like it's this fucking thing that controls you. So fucking, like, get a fucking grip, y'all. Get a fucking grip. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? What's the thing that's going to piss off women the most? Treating them like a sex object. What's the second thing, like the second most like annoying thing to a woman? Not treating them like a sex object. This fucking world is fucking retarded, and if we don't talk about it and set some fucking values, we're going to be doomed to repeat it, and not only repeat it, but get worse and worse and worse. So bring it to the comment section. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, dislike, and if you dislike, please leave a comment. I really want to know why. And it's not that probably I'm not going to change your mind, but I would like to understand your point of view. So that being said, this is a Too Much Coffee podcast. Follow me on any social media at Arthur Fantastic. We can talk and any social media platform. Excuse me, burp there from this coffee, which I'm about to drink. Yeah, any social media platform, Arthur Fantastic. I will be rolling out my album out soon, so if you want to follow that too, just hit me up. I have an early release that you can get listening to, but that is sent on a personal level, not a public link or anything like that. I am also working on some more videos for the YouTube channel. I only have a couple other videos this year of some rants and responses to people, but I will be putting out more videos starting pretty soon. I have a whole ton of ideas. I just have not had the time nor the drive because of shit like depression and just being caught up in life. You know what I mean? We all have our struggles, as I said before. We all have our problems. And, as much as advice I can give, taking your own advice is the hardest thing. And whether it's love or looking for inspiration or loneliness, all that shit all brings us all down. So I want you all to know that I'm human and you're human, and as humans we already are relatable to each other. You know what I mean? We all go through this human experience, and we all have our own shit to deal with, and I love all of you. I love every one of you that are listening here, and I really appreciate your support and you taking the time to even listen to this. I appreciate any feedback that you can give me, and I also appreciate all the time that you spend interacting with me. I am just super surprised with the amount of responses I've been getting and the amount of views on these videos. With my videos before not getting as much as response as in the past. So this is really cool. This is really cool. Thank you guys. This, where am I at? 35 minutes almost. I'm gonna do a couple of quick topics. Bobby Valentino caught with a transgender woman. used to be a man, but she is now a woman. And preference is whatever. You can prefer whatever you want. But if this is not the first time he's been caught with this sort of deal going on, and that's all. That shit's fine, I guess. I'm not understanding why. I don't see the appeal of it. You know what I mean? Like, what's the appeal? I don't know. Like, why, if you like transgender women, like, do you like women or do you actually like men? And if that's the case, then if you like men, like, why not just be with men? You know what I mean? Why transgender women? That's like a real fetish. You know what I mean? Fetishizing like a fucking, a person and their issues and their life struggle, and saying, well, I'm only attracted to people that are transgender. And I'm not saying that that's bad. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, yes, I am. What's going on, Bobby Valentino? Why do you keep getting caught with this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I'm not, and when I say like this is bad, I mean what's bad is fetishizing people and then not saying like if that's what you like, then say that's what you like. That's what's really wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying what he's doing is wrong, but what like be real, be honest. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like this whole world has become very feminized. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very feminine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying what I fucking feel like it, but I feel as though that a lot of people are, and as I was touching on earlier, like, empathy is important. Being in touch with your feelings is important. You know what I'm saying? As a human being, as a man or a woman. But that being said, like, there needs to be a balance of feminine and masculine. You know what I mean? There's a reason why men are a certain way and women are a certain way, and why men are able to compartmentalize their emotion and be dispassionate and make dispassionate decisions, and it has its advantages and disadvantages, and women are more emotional and empathetic, which has its advantages and disadvantages, and both are needed to run a society, make children, raise children, make good decisions. You know what I mean? And people don't want to play their roles. People don't want to embrace what they are. They want to be what they are not. And that is an issue that is at the core of almost all the issues we currently have as a society, is that people want to be what they're not. And that's a fucking tragedy. You know what I mean? Like, I could go on and on about how women and men are different, and that doesn't mean something negative. Women are good at certain things, men are good at certain things. There are things that both of them can be good at, and there's certain things that men and women are better at than the other. You know what I mean? Like, plain and simple. And to say otherwise is fucking not only naive, but a fucking lie. All right? A fucking lie. And if you're gonna tell, for instance, that a woman is as strong as a man, you're a fucking liar, and you're fucking up the realities of people. You know what I mean? When women are trying to fight men and a man fights them with a closed fist, that shit is not going to go well. And then we're trying to make women more masculine and make men more feminine. Like, let's really dissect these things. And there are people who are like, oh, these are social constructs. They are not social constructs, okay? They are not social constructs. A man, on average, more than on average, majority of the time, is stronger than a woman, okay? Same size, same even amount of muscle on their body. They are stronger because of hormones and the way that they're built from birth. And when we are saying that there's no difference between men and women, okay, then we are really fucking up society. Because it's not true. It's not true. All this gender neutral shit is pissing me the fuck off. There was a story about this woman who was suing a school district in Minnesota because they were giving sexual transition hormones to her son against her wishes. Then it came out that he was emancipated from his mother. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, we are really delving into a place where just enabling a lot of shit. Like, we can't. And I'll get into that in another podcast more. I want to keep the rest of this time. We're almost at 40 minutes, if we're not already. And I want to talk about what I told y'all that I was going to talk about last week on the Too Much Coffee podcast, and that is conspiracy theories. And it's not even conspiracy theories; it's conspiracies. Now, the first thing I want to do is take a sip of this coffee. Okay, so conspiracies. There is plenty of theories out there, but we first have to establish that it is possible, if you are not a conspiracy theorist or whatever, and you're more skeptical, because I'm skeptical of a lot of things, and of course when this first happened I was very skeptical of it, and all these theories, in fact. We have to concede that we could be wrong about our view of the world, and that we need to question everything. All right, there are things that are logically necessary. Occam's razor, for instance, Kant's wall, Immanuel Kant's wall, Murphy's law. These are things that we need to consider when we are considering the information that we have in front of us. Now, before I go on, the first thing, which I had gone off on a tangent, is that a lot of conspiracy theorists will speculate on what, who, why shit was done. And speculating is the very most easy way to discredit yourself. People who speculate end up a lot of the time looking very foolish. And I speculate all the time with these, but when I present this information to you, I want you to know that this is information that's verifiable. Everything that I'm about to say you can look up, check for yourself. Always don't take it from one source. Look at multiple sources. Don't take the 9/11 Commission's report as at face value when you know that it was created and said by key members in the commission that it was set up to failure. It took too long to get into place. Okay, so let's start with this crash course. This is a crash course on conspiracy theories, and the first one we're going to start with is going to be 9/11. 9/11 is the most important turning point of the new millennium, and this country in general. And we have to look at it with the most scrutinizing eyes. We are never willing to scrutinize shit, and I think that at this point in our reality and in our time where we can't even criticize shit because, we were going to be haters and just looked at as a person that just hates shit. The reality of the situation is that there's a lot of peculiar things that we can go back and look at 9/11 and say, that is very weird. For instance, let's start with the normal way of looking at things. You follow the money. If you are looking at a crime, you follow the money, and that will usually take you to and give you the modus operandi, the MO, the reason. You need a motive for why the shit is happening. Day before, 2001, September 10th, trillions and trillions of dollars are announced to have been missing from the government. Whoa. Trillions. TR. Multiple trillions of dollars. Donna Rumsfeld comes up on the fucking press conference and we are missing trillions of dollars. Next day, September 2011. 2 towers go into the building 1 and 2 of the World Trade. One goes into the Pentagon and one crashes out in Pennsylvania. Now, everywhere that these planes have crashed, World Trade Center 1, World Trade Center 2, the particular wing of the Pentagon, these are all places where the information where this money was. You know where the backups were? Building 7. If you don't know what Building 7 is, it is a building directly across from World Trade Center 1 and 2. In fact, there's a building between them that still stands to this day. And it also fell to the ground. Now, let's take into this into account. This is the first time in history that steel reinforced buildings have collapsed due to fire. And not only did it happen once, not only did it happen twice, it happened 3 times in one day. Now, 2 of them were hit by planes, and you can argue that maybe there was some kind of problem with the building and that all of the oh my god, all the flame retardants fell off every single beam in the entire structure, and steel lowered its ability to. There is a group out there called Architects for 9/11 Truth. Definitely check it out. I will link that in the description. It is basically thousands and thousands of architects that are saying that what happened on 9/11 is pretty much, and this is speculation, controlled demolition. Now, when you look at the buildings 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 7, if you have not seen 7, I would definitely recommend you do it. These buildings are falling at free fall. Okay? Now, yes, we've seen buildings fall all the time in movies and on TV from controlled demolition. And if it falls not from controlled demolition, it's asymmetrical. There has not been a time in history where a steel reinforced building has fallen down at free fall speed. That is, nothing is in the way of it falling and hitting the ground. Okay? There's never been a time in history. Now, some people will be very, very technical with this and say that it was free falling only for such and such amount of time, which is true. But for the sake of time constraints and just having this be a crash course, these buildings are falling with 100 multiple story buildings shouldn't be falling down and falling in its own footprint in 16 seconds and turning into dust. That is steel and concrete turning into dust. That shit does not happen, all right? That shit does not happen. It shouldn't happen. All these records are being set by the things that happened on 9/11. First 3 buildings to ever fall from fire. Longest sustained fire ever was at World Trade Center 1 and 2. If you look that up as well, for months. For months, if not a month. Let's say it's a little over a month that the fires at ground zero were going nonstop for weeks. What kind of shit can that happen? That shit does not happen. Why are history-making events being done by a plane hitting a building, which has happened in the past before? You know what I'm saying? Empire State Building hit by a fucking B-22 bomber, if I'm not mistaken, like 50 years beforehand. Now we can go to the plane that hit the Pentagon. Pentagon is within a specific area in the Washington, D.C. area that is just completely off limits, and that if you enter that area, you are fucking done. And people want to say that after 9/11, we started installing ground-to-air missiles in the area. That is bullshit. You can look. There is transmissions on the record from the I am forgetting the name of our flight organization here. It's not FAFSA. that's a college grant thing. Anyway, you can look up the transmission of radio talking about how not to shoot down certain airplanes that are entering the airspace. There are ground to air missiles there already in 2001. Okay, that's to say that there were no defenses in our capital is the most retarded thing to say. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? You're saying that our capital, the most secure area in our entire country, does not have any defenses against an air invasion? Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, nah, dude. So, but You wouldn't know that from watching movies like I don't know, fucking Olympus Has Fallen and shit like that. But that is the reality of the situation, and it has been the reality for a long period of time. Like, you think that after Pearl Harbor we wouldn't have in our capital, if not before, defenses against such a thing? Anyway, so this area where planes are not allowed to go, right, ever, allowed a plane with no signal going on off it, completely devoid of signal, on radar though, enter the airspace unharassed. The year before, there was upwards, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was 97 or 57 scrambled jets in 2000. Okay, how many were scrambled on the day of 9/11? I will tell you, 4. The entire eastern seaboard was crippled from its defensive, having only 4 available jets to scramble. Why? Because there are things going on at that same time. Okay, now this is the stuff that no one ever really talks about. Vigilant Guardian, I believe it is called. And there was 2 things going on at the same time. Vigilant Guardian, which was there scrambling jets for a war game in Canada, and most of the jets were there. And then at the same time, on our radars across the entire country, we are seeing ghost planes, and this is documented. You can look this up on the internet. Don't take my word for it. Question everything I'm saying, because when you question it and then look it up yourself, you will be fucking surprised. All right, this is just a crash course. I'm not going to even touch on everything that is necessary to touch on, because it is such a journey and such a unbelievable moment that you yourself must take the initiative to look up yourself. I'm only the messenger. It is you that must take the step. This is some fucking Matrix shit. I can only offer you the way. I cannot make you take the path. So at the same time that 4 hijacked planes, quote unquote, are going unharassed for hours, okay, in our airspace, which within 30 minutes of any of these problems, usually on any other day in any other year, there will be a jet scramble to take care of the situation. Okay, any other day, any other year. On this day, we're running war games that are showing ghost planes on our radar that are being quote unquote hijacked by by terrorists or whatever, that are going to be crashing into buildings the same day. Do you understand what I'm saying? That they're fucking running drills, that they are getting hijacked planes and running them into buildings the same day that actual planes are being hijacked and run into buildings for the first time in fucking history in America. Can you fucking believe this? And you are not questioning, if you're not questioning the fucking reality of the situation, I can go on and on. But if these things are not convincing you already, then there might be something wrong with you. Okay? Now, just take that information, do with it what you will. I definitely suggest you look up this information. I will link whatever I said I would link in the description, but it's up to you to look. There's so many documentaries, and there's a lot of different points of view, a lot of different ideas, and a lot of different, informations that you need to, for yourself, consider and weigh its validity and veracity yourself. But what I'm telling you right now is incontrovertible. These things are 1000% true. History is being made on this day, on that day, such a tragedy in 2001, September 11th. And we can't even fucking talk about it. We can talk about the trillions that no one ever talks about the day before, and we can talk about how all the records of that stuff is missing. We can talk about how the day of these planes running into buildings, a historical amount of put options, which is to say you are betting that a stock will go down, were made on the airlines that hit the building. People were making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off these incidents, which looks like possible insider trading. You need the best source for this is the Colbert Report, which I will link in the description. I'm pretty sure it's called Colbert Report. Now I have to look it up right now. Hold on. Not Corbett Report. I will link it in the description. Colbert, that's Stephen Colbert. But I can't stress to you that you need to question this yourself. Needs to be you that does this. I can't do it for you. I can only show you the way. The last thing I want to touch on in this episode, we're at the 57-minute mark, basically, after I put in like the intro later on. The next part that we need to talk about is Pizzagate. Pizzagate is this huge thing, and I've touched on it before, and there's a lot of developments in this. But I'm actually looking at the time, and we are not going to be really able to talk about it this episode. So take the information that I did tell you about 9/11, look at that, come back next week. We'll talk more about Pizzagate, and maybe a little bit more 9/11, depending on what kind of response I get. What else is there to talk about? There's a lot of music that's going on right now, but none of that shit's really impressing me. So I really don't have a lot to say about music right now. There is some artists that I'm looking at that I will do maybe a bit of a profile on the show next week, like Coda the Friend, and I forget, there's this one lady, chick from, I think it's Germany, who's doing some great deep house shit. And there's several artists, and I don't really want to put it really in this episode. But I will talk about the most recent anime I've been watching, and I cannot get enough of it. It's called My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia. Boku no Hero Academia, which is this great anime. I cannot recommend it enough. If you like Hunter x Hunter, if you like action anime, if you like that sort of thing, like the underdog hero, you will love My Hero Academy. The pace is great, the story is well put together, very interesting. If you like for instance, One Punch Man, this would be a great show. It has, oh man, it is so good. It's made me cry, it's made me laugh. I have fucking like literally watched every episode of it up to the current episode in 2 days, and there is like 30 something episodes. So but then again, I don't really get a lot of sleep, and I don't have a life other. But I mean, it is a great anime. Shout out to my boy Brandon, who is also loves that show, and I was talking to him about it the other day. What is there to say about the show? What can I give you a pitch on the show? In a world where superheroes are not the exception but the normal, one boy who doesn't have any fucking powers fights to be the best superhero on the planet. And I guess that would be the best. That would be the best explanation on it. It's super cool. Like I said, if you like Hunter x Hunter, or One Punch Man, I would definitely recommend it. There's another anime that I need to start watching. It's like, I forget, it's like Psycho something. It's from the same people that did One Punch Man. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. My Hero Academia. It's fucking definitely worth your time. New episode of Rick and Morty came out. That was pretty dope. I enjoyed that. very interesting. Very interesting. What gets me upset is that if you go to any pop culture show, it's always it's always like this really cynical outlook on relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's Family Guy or American Dad or it's Rick and Morty or it's Archer, all these shows are talking about this really cynical view on relationships and how like relationships are like garbage and how it's a fucking problem. And you know what? It's true, but no one wants to realize like talk about the problems. They just want to talk about the symptoms. And you know what I mean? When you just talk about the symptoms, you're not gonna fucking solve shit. And it's, you know what I mean? There's fucking great people out there, man. There's fucking great people out there that people don't want to talk about it. And man, that brought it full circle again. I hate talking about shit like that. It just gets me really upset but that show was great. It was really cool. You know, Rick and Morty, you can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong with it. Really looking forward to the rest of the season. I won't talk about Game of Thrones, but I'm just so in love with the show. Oh my god, every time I get to like the 15-minute mark before the show's about to end, I'm like, fuck, no, this needs to be longer. And to know that there's only like 4 more episodes in the season is making me want to fucking commit seppuku. So anyway, comment, like, subscribe, get back to me. We can talk about this. I record every Thursday. I post on every Friday. It's on multiple sites. You can download this on the go at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker, the Too Much Coffee Podcast, Arthur Fantastic being my profile. Arthur Fantastic on any social media, whatever the fuck you want, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, X videos, Pornhub, whatever. Look it up. I'm there. Golden Ruffian on YouTube. That's GOLDENRUFFIAN. Now, before I end the show, because we are already over the hour mark, I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate your continued support listening to my podcast. I know that I just pretty much masturbate here on the on the microphone for like an hour and rant about stuff, and I hope that this is stuff that you want to hear about. I know that I'm a dissenting opinion, and this is not the opinion that is the prevailing opinion right now, excuse me, in America, in terms of the media you consume. But it's definitely still a strong opinion that, you know, people are now being shamed for having. You can't, like, having a traditional view and shit like that. You can't fucking have that. You can't say traditional shit. You know what I'm saying? You should be a fucking hoe that fucking is gender fluid, that does not subscribe to normal gender roles, and everything's a social construct, colonialism, colorism, racism, institutional racism. You're a Nazi. I just got called by Talib Kweli the other day. Again, I got called by him a Nazi just for disagreeing with him. This is what it's come down to. Anyway, saying that, knowing that I need y'all's continued support, I really appreciate every like, every single comment, and even just you contacting me, I really like that. I would really appreciate, though, that if you do like it, just comment it. Just give me a like. And if you are really supportive and you have a little bit of extra income, just donate to my Patreon. Patreon.com, patreon.com/ArthurFantastic. It's basically a site where you can make contributions to my site. You can make a monthly contribution, or you can make a one-time contribution. Also in the description is also my PayPal, where you can give a one-time donation. Every little bit counts. $1 a month would be fucking amazing. Starting in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be needing to pay for the hosting on Spreaker.com. You know, this is basically what I do right now is YouTube and the podcast. So any little bit really, really helps. $1 a month is not a lot, but it is at the same time, because that's a fucking dollar. But if you can, I would fucking appreciate it, and I'll kiss your penis. I mean, not really, but I could use that dollar though. So yeah, just consider that. And if you can't do that, totally understandable. I can't do it because I'm broke as a joke. Obviously, I'm only doing videos on YouTube, and I'm only getting a couple hundred views. But like, share, subscribe, comment. All right, if you can just comment and like, that really helps. I cannot stress that enough. Just comment, like, subscribe. If you dislike, please leave a comment. Let me know why. Follow me on any social media, Arthur Fantastic, on YouTube, Golden Ruffian, and I will hear from you guys and try to address anything that you want me to talk about on next week's episode. Once again, I record on Thursday and I post it on Friday, so try to get to me before Friday. And yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Love y'all. Please be safe. Make wise decisions, and I hope to hear from you. Take it easy. Stay fantastic. All that nice shit here on the Too Much Coffee podcast. Holler. Peace.